5 years ago, I was just an ordinary salaried employee, but I learned 5 things that changed my life. If I had known these things sooner, I could be much richer today. If you, like me, are thinking about how you can become rich and escape the routine of an ordinary job, you are not alone. I once wanted to change the life I was living, just like you, and I constantly ask myself this question. How can I earn more money? I am an industrial engineer, and 5 years ago, I was in the same position you are in today. If you follow the routines I practice, I can't promise that you will become rich, but I believe you will reach a better position than the life you are living right now. That's why I'm inviting you on a new journey. I encourage you to apply these methods correctly, even if you haven't tried them before. You've probably seen videos on YouTube about ways to become rich. Most of them share a common approach. They explain the knowledge they gained from their own experiences and tell you to follow a path based on that. But one of the biggest mistakes made here is this. Not everyone has the same circumstances. That's why you need to analyze yourself carefully and apply the methods I'm about to explain accordingly. The first method you should apply is skill development. One of the most important common traits of wealthy people is that they have at least one skill in which they are an expert. But the critical point here is that the skill you develop must be able to make you money in the future. To give an example from myself, during my career as an industrial engineer, I acquired skills in data analysis and software. At first, these skills didn't earn me large amounts of money, but over time, they proved valuable across different industries. So what should we do to acquire a new skill? It's important to enjoy the process of learning, because you need to stay motivated in the long run. Connect with people who already have this skill. While experts share their experiences, learn new things from them. The second method is risk. Let me be honest with you. When you take a risk, you will experience serious stress. In fact, this stress often increases as you get older. Taking a risk at 20 is not the same as taking a risk at 40. As you age, responsibilities grow, which makes taking risks more difficult. Review your own life circumstances and compare the risks you take with the potential rewards. But moments of risk show us something very important. Change. When you take a risk, life challenges you, but it also helps you grow. Once you change, you are no longer the same as before. You become a more developed version of yourself. And when faced with the same situation again, you won't experience as much stress because you now know how to handle it. Another common trait of wealthy people is their environment. The people around you directly influence your mindset. If you spend time with people who constantly complain, you will gradually start thinking the same way. But if you are surrounded by people who focus on growth and think differently, you will begin to adopt their perspective. Another impact of your environment is collaboration. People I know who have reached a certain level of financial success have never become wealthy on their own. They always received help from others. The fourth point applies more to those who have a steady income: investing. If you have a regular monthly income and want to make use of the money left over, you can grow it through the stock market or similar investment tools. But if you don't have a steady income, don't worry. Even $100 set aside today can grow your investment over time. The key to investing lies in the small things you save. What matters is not starting with large sums, but developing the habit of saving regularly. Over time, even small investments can yield much larger results than you might expect, thanks to the power of compound returns. The fifth and final method is time. You may be where you are today because you haven't used your time wisely. The biggest difference between you and a 60-year-old billionaire is often not money, but how you've managed your time. Look back at your past and think about the time you've wasted. If you had used that time more effectively, the changes in yourself could have been on a completely different level. But the important thing is not to regret the past. It's to start using your time consciously from today. The small decisions you make today can completely shape the direction of your life in the future. So, did I really apply the points I just explained? Yes, I applied them many times, but most of the time I didn't do it consciously. I told you the common trait of wealthy people: experience. Your own experiences are among the most valuable things in life because real learning usually comes from living through it. This video may not change your life instantly, but it can give you a new perspective. Remember, wealth is often not the result of a single big decision. It comes from the accumulation of small but correct decisions over time. If you take even one small idea from this video today, you might be taking the first step toward your own transformation.